All right, let's talk about the differences between plant and animal protein. And forgive me, please, if I get a little excited and worked up about it. It's a subject I get a little passionate about. What is meat? People think an animal that you eat has three things. It has muscle, it has fat, and it has this stuff called meat. There is no stuff called meat. That steak and that chicken breast is actually muscle. And the reason it's easier to get muscle in humans from animal muscle is because it is muscle. It's already got all the essential amino acids in the right proportions in order to make that. Now, there's a few things here. Don't think go right in order to get meat. Meat's really hard to break down in the body. It takes there's a lot of work for the body. Think about it. All that meat has to get broken down into liquid, into blood, to get into your cells, to get into your system. That's a lot of work. Plant protein, on the other hand, doesn't require as much work to break down unless it's locked up in cellulose or fiber, which a lot of times it is. And the thing that plants have not going for it that animals do is even though it might have all the essential amino acids needed to make proteins, it's different profiles than the animal. For example, if you have, say, 10 units of arginine in this plant over here, it might only have 2 units of leucine, 1 unit of glutamine, and 1 unit of valine. Well, that means you're only going to get 1 or 2 units of protein, complete protein, because the other 8 units of arginine can't match up with anything because there is not enough of the other ones to make up for that. You need the right ratios and the right proportions in the plant world in order to make a complete unit of protein that your body can use. And that's the differences between the two. Now, it might be easier to break down the plant proteins, but the animal protein already has the right ratios, but it's harder to break down. And it's lacking a lot of the essential phytonutrients necessary to make the complete protein. Because again, the animal protein has to be broken down into amino acids, but it is not going to do much because those are just the building blocks of the muscle, of the house. And this is where it gets interesting, and this is where I'm going to give you the example here. Amino acids are just building blocks. That's all they are. It's like you're building a body or you're building a house. They're like bricks building a house. So those amino acids, once they're broken down and you have like this pile of amino acids in your stomach, that's like somebody dumping a pile of bricks on your lawn and saying, here's your house. Well, that's not a house. That's just a pile of bricks, just like you have a pile of amino acids in your stomach broken down, either from plants or animals. Well, you're not going to get a house from that unless you get an architect, a bunch of bricklayers, and a whole bunch of mortar to stick it all together, plus some other people to make that into a house. Same thing with amino acids in your body. Doesn't matter where you get the bricks from, you need to assemble them together in order to make a proper muscle or house from it. It's a lot of work to put it together. You can't just have protein. You can't just have amino acids. So these people that buy protein powders that are just high levels of protein per serving, and it's protein isolates, that's like having a pile of bricks. It's not going to do anything. You can't build anything with it. Protein requires all kinds of things to make it work. It requires vitamins and minerals and enzymes and fats. Get this is kind of interesting. These people who think meat is all the answer to everything, I don't know, you can Google this if you don't believe me. There are people who lived off of nothing but rabbits for a while, and they started starving to death. They literally starved to death because rabbits are very low fat. There's almost no fat on a rabbit. And you need fat. You need healthy fats along with your protein. If you eat just protein, even if it's meat, even if it's a dead animal and you eat the meat, you can starve to death. So you can't just have protein. You need other things along with the protein in order for your body to be able to use it. And that's the most important point that most people don't understand. You cannot just look at a bag and go, how many grams per protein are in a serving? Well, if it's just protein isolate, it doesn't matter because most of it is just going to constipate you. It's not going to get into your body. It's not going to do anything. It's just very expensive cement that you're eating. That's why it's important to have whole plants. Now, you're not going to get as much protein per serving because there's other things mixed in with it which your body needs. Other than the amino acids. You need salicylic acids. Plants have essential fatty acids. They have vitamins and minerals and electrolytes and enzymes and flavonoids and saponins and antioxidants and sterols and steroids and hormones and lignans and polysaccharides. and glucomanins and monosaccharides and anthraquinones and all that important fiber, all that stuff that you need in order to make that protein do something in your body. And that's why taking protein isolates isn't going to do much. That's what I'm saying. So stop asking how many grams of protein are in a serving of your product. Well, you need the bricklayers, the architects, and the mortar. A lot of mortar goes into building a house. It's not just bricks. So that's why it's important to understand what's needed for protein to actually do something in your body. Another thing about meat is a cow has hormones that make it grow to be 2,000 pounds. So when you eat that meat from a cow, you're eating also cow hormones, which makes things grow. That's why bodybuilders get bigger faster. It's not just the protein, it's also the hormones. There's a downside to that because it also makes other things grow that are opportunistic in your body, like cancer, which you don't want. Also, animals have cholesterol. You need cholesterol for hormones. You need cholesterol to function, but your body makes its own cholesterol. People think the liver is the only place that makes cholesterol. Actually, every cell in your body makes cholesterol. You get enough of it on your own. So when you eat animal products, you're getting more cholesterol than you need, and that extra cholesterol can cause issues, and this is what you don't want. Another important thing to keep in mind is fiber. We all know we need fiber, but it's not just to push things out of you and clean you out down there. It helps break down hormone metabolites like estrogens. It helps clean up and get rid of and bind heavy metals and toxins and get it out of you. It is the main food source for your gut probiotics, which is 70% of your immune system. It feeds on fiber. And animal products have zero fiber. That is another reason why plant matter is a good thing to have in your diet as opposed to just eating meat. Then there's the dairy products, which are full of estrogen. Estrogen is not something you want. It makes you fat. It helps drive hormone-driven cancers. It's just, I can go on. I've already lectured about all that. But there's so much benefit to being safe, having plants that are high in amino acids, but you also need all those other things that make that work. And that's why I suggest getting something that's a whole plant form of protein. And that's why I created this. And that's why I want you to have it. It's so important. That's why I'm selling it at half price. I'm actually giving away half of my stock. I'm paying for half of it. This is a $90 bag. It's pretty much, after you add up everything that it cost me to run this company and to make this and to warehouse it and sell it and pay for everything, that's what it costs. I'm not making a lot of profit on it. So I am paying you $45 to have this, 2 pounds of my protein for the next month or until it sells out. As you know, my products are pretty much at cost. If you don't believe me, Google what a pound of pine nuts costs. That's one of the ingredients in here. Nobody uses the ingredients I use because it's just too damn expensive. If you were to buy each one of these ingredients separately and try to make your own 2-pound bag, you would be amazed what it costs. It takes 30 pounds of plant matter to make 2 pounds of powder. That's why this is a lot more concentrated than if you were to just to eat a bunch of whatever's in here in its natural state. Powdering makes it more concentrated. And I don't just isolate the protein. I have the whole plant in there. I never use other people's protein powders because they're using protein isolates. What they're trying to do is isolate the protein from the plant so you're getting pure protein, pure amino acids. But protein is more than just amino acid isolates. It will not work. You can have all the protein in. That's why people who are obsessed with how many grams of protein per serving, it's meaningless. You could eat tons of protein, have tons of grams of protein per serving, and it won't do anything in your body if it doesn't have the right support elements to make it function. I want you to have it. I want you to try it. I want you to see what it tastes like and feels like and what you end up looking like. It's so important to have protein. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying people on a vegan diet are not getting enough protein. Now, a lot of them do choose to eat a lot of high-carb, low-protein, low-fat foods, but if you do want to increase your protein, like you're doing strength training, or you're trying to heal a wound or something like that, then you need more than normal. Now, this is the regular sweetened protein. It's sweetened with Marcus Sweet, which is all natural, 0 calories and all that. I am coming out with an unsweetened version in about a month, but that one will not be half off. This is the one that's half off. Okay. This is it. That's my lecture. I hope it inspires you. I want you to have what it takes to be healthy and happy and successful in your life. And I do what I can to make you have that. So, again, you can get it at marcusprotein.com, Marcus with a K. I don't know about Europe. Shipping is, most of Europe and Australia isn't going to get it because of the world conditions. I'm sorry. Customs is making it impossible. Unless you know somebody in the United States who can bring you some. But I wish I could change that, but I can't. But anyway, at least some people can get it. I'm doing what I can. I hope I help you. Until next week, or until the next video, Sunday, whatever. Have a good one. See you then.